Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Q&A office hour and strategy call. I am just going to check my technology here, make sure that we are streaming into our Facebook group. Let's see here. Yep, we're there. Terrific. Well, welcome, everybody. Just as a reminder for those of you who are new to Living Plate RX and our community, we offer these Q&A office hour and strategy calls twice per month. And we also offer semi-private coaching calls twice per month to support you in getting the most out of Living Plate RX content, and to also just overall help you with your strategy for growing your practice. Today, we're going to start, as we do with every Q&A office hour and strategy call, with a brief conversation about strategy. And then we're going to follow up with some FAQs that have been coming in over the past few weeks. I am Jeannie Petrucci, registered dietitian, culinary coach, and digital content creator. And I'm the founder of Living Plate RX, and I just love doing these calls with you twice per month. I wish I had more time to do them more frequently, but hopefully we'll get there. And we have some actually really exciting things coming up for our community in the next few months. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's get started with the strategy that we're going to be chatting about today. Welcome to the call. I have it up on my phone so I can actually see who's here and who's commenting. So just give me a wave and say hi. Let me know where you're joining me from. If you are joining us on LinkedIn or on YouTube, you can head over to our private Facebook group, Scale Your Nutrition Practice. And that is where the recording and the conversation is going to be, the recording is going to be stored there. And then the conversation is going to be most active there. I can actually see all the comments coming in. So make sure that you join the group. So today we're going to be talking about scheduling content for your practice. Now, when I say scheduling content, a lot of people immediately go to social media, right? Like Planoly, like I'm going to create my content. I'm going to schedule my content. Yes, that's part of it, but that comes way, way, way after actually considering what kind of content you're going to create and then how you're going to be deploying it in your practice in a way that drives practice growth. So if you have any questions about different kinds of content, what types of content are appropriate for your practice, now is going to be a really great time to ask that question, because I'll be able to cover it in this first part of our office hour and strategy call. Oh, welcome everybody. Good to see you here. All right. You're going to hear this from me a lot. Before you do anything, and if you've joined me for some previous conversations, you will know that it always begins with strategy. And I know that's kind of like that's the boring piece of it, right? Doing the strategy, getting some things on paper, like solidifying your brand, your ideal customer avatar, all of that. But I promise you that if you start to create content for your practice without it pointing back to some type of content creation strategy, you're going to be wasting your time, wasting money, and it's going to be really hard to grow. So this is kind of the boring stuff. And I'm going to pull up, let me just see here. I'm going to pull up a graphic that I've pulled up before. This is our friend Veruca Salt, who wants it now. Yes, we all want practice growth now. We all want to create content that drives revenue now. And, yes, we need to do those things, but part of our content creation therapy each week is to say, you need to just slow down to speed up. And that means really focusing on the strategy first. And, the time that you invest into creating your content strategy, that is non-revenue generating time at the moment, but it helps you just become so much more efficient in the process that it's kind of a no-brainer. And any marketing strategist will tell you, any business strategist will tell you need to start with strategy. So, what drives this, I want it now, is a lot of the messaging, particularly on social media, that yes, you can build a digital course and, make it all, pretty and fancy and, just deploy it and earn passive income. Anybody who promises you that without saying, we're going to do some hard work on strategy first, is not going to help you generate passive income and help you grow. I can say that with relative confidence based on kind of what I'm seeing with thousands of our members and experience in the industry. It's really important to start with strategy. So if you want it now, I get it. I've been there. And if you're in a position where you're just starting your private practice and you need to generate immediate revenue, just to get going, then perhaps do some type of a side hustle that you can engage in to generate revenue while you focus on strategy for your practice. Again, not necessarily the messaging that everybody wants to hear, but I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to share with you what we know kind of works, and starting with strategy is really important. So I'm just going to advance a slide here to another image that you will see from me and my team frequently, which is your sales funnel. So part of your strategy is diving into understanding who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them. Those are basically the 3 questions that you need to answer. Jen, our Director of Operations, is joining me on this call. Jen, could you drop the link in for the Elevate workshop? If you are a Living Plate RX member, the Elevate workshop, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit, is inside of your library already, and it's free for everybody. So if you're not a Living Plate RX member, use the link that Jen is going to be dropping in the comments here. If you are a member, it's right. I moved it to the top of the library, so you can't miss it. I strongly encourage you to go through that workshop and complete the strategic portion. And then once you kind of have all of that in place, you can move on to considering your funnel. Now, when it comes to content, you need to create content in every area of your funnel. I'm actually going to remove my picture here because you can't see the bottom there. And let me just hide this text too. So now you can see the full picture here. You need to do 3 things in your business. If you are opening up a private practice, whether it's virtual or bricks and mortar, you are opening up a business. You are running a business. And there are 3 things that you have to do. You have to attract your ideal clients, you need to serve them with immense value, and you need to retain them. That's how you get to the golden egg that Veruca Salt wants so badly, right? Attract, serve, and retain. There's content that you need to create in each one of these pillar phases. Now, when we go back to your strategy to think about, where am I at in my practice? If you are just starting private practice, or you're struggling with kind of gaining traction, you need to focus more on the attraction content, because until you have people kind of coming into your funnel regularly, nothing else is going to matter, right? And once you have people coming into your funnel in the attraction phase and you start serving them, they will eventually, it's just a numbers game. There's no secret here, right? You serve them with immense value, right? All this evidence-based content that you have access to just adds huge value to your practice. And you serve them with immense value, and eventually a certain percentage of those people in your funnel will opt into your paid products. So Jen, I'm just going to ask you, oh, hi, Sandy, good to see you. Hey, Jen, thanks for dropping that in. So Jen just dropped the link in for the Elevate Your Practice workshop. So make sure that you join that. Again, it's in your library. So again, focusing on the attraction content. Now, once you have enough attraction content created and you have people coming into your funnel, then you can move on to adding serving and retention content. Now, remember, I just said adding. I didn't say move on to, because you're always going to have to create attraction content. So get comfortable with it. Now, I have social media listed here. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to create social media content. It goes back to your strategy. If your strategy is to get referrals from doctors and hospital groups and maybe other practitioners, maybe it's a gym next door and you want them to refer to you, social media content isn't necessarily going to be the content that you focus on, right? Maybe it's opt-ins or running free challenges or getting traffic to your website with blogs. There's a lot of different strategies that you can take to attract people into your funnel. And each one of those strategies involves a variety of content. So align the content that you are going to be selecting and scheduling for your practice make it align with where you're at in your business. Now, if you have a private practice and you have people regularly coming into your funnel and you really just want to kind of serve that audience a little bit better, then maybe you schedule some time for attraction content, but then you focus more on the serving content, right? The newsletters, offering Q&A live sessions, offering exclusive webinars, in practice content, right? So when somebody comes to your practice and they're in the counseling chair, or if they show up on your counseling virtual call, what kind of content are you going to be providing them with? Is it going to be recipes? Is it going to be meal plans? Is it going to be cooking videos to support them with behavior change? Is it going to be a handout that's more informative? All of that. We cover a lot. We take a deep dive into each one of these pillars inside of Elevate. So again, if you haven't gone through that workshop, strongly recommend that you do that. So you can consider this, the serving, scheduling out some serving content. If you are already in practice and you've got people in your funnel, just start serving them with immense value. And then you can move on to creating paid packages for your clients. Now, I often, let me just come to hello for a second to chat. Hi. So we have a lot of members in our community, and I hear a variety of, different stories based on people's practices. Now, there are people who have been in practice for a long time, but potentially have a dysfunctional funnel, meaning that they have a lot of people coming into their funnel. They're getting a lot of referrals, but they're not serving them with enough value. Truly imagine a funnel, right? If you start pouring water like into a funnel and it's not able to move down the funnel, it's just going to spill out and it's going to leak. And that's what happens in private practice. You just start losing clients because you're not serving them with enough value. So assess kind of the health of your funnel, I guess. Like, do you have enough people coming into your funnel? No, then you need to focus on scheduling time and scheduling content to attract people into your funnel. If you already have people coming into your funnel, maybe you want to optimize that with some attraction content, but you also want to focus on that serving content, right? Maybe you want to schedule, we're going to talk a little bit about cadence today too. Maybe you want to schedule a weekly newsletter. Maybe you want to schedule a bi-weekly Q&A session, like very much what I'm doing here with you. So you can add value to that serving. And again, the more you serve, the more you're going to convert people to your paid products. But if you have a dysfunctional funnel and you're either, not attracting enough people or you're not serving people with enough value, like don't even skip to like creating a program or creating packages, because it's not good. It's eventually not going to work and you're going to burn out, right? You're going to burn out trying to create all of these paid programs for people and you have yet to establish a healthy funnel. So focusing on the funnel, while not what a lot of people want to hear, is really essential. You come into any paid program like Living Plate RX membership, and you want to get your value out of that, right? You want to see an ROI from that, but you're not going to unless you have a healthy funnel, right? So the ROI initially for some of our members is truly just time saved because all the content is created for you. The other value is that we provide you with instruction on how to build and get your kind of funnel humming, right? Get a healthy funnel in place so that you can drive people to your practice. Is that making sense? For those of you who are joining me now, hi, good to see you here. Just type in "makes sense." Just type in comments, "makes sense," if some of that makes sense. And if all of it makes sense, if you have questions, please feel free to ask away. All right, ask any questions that you have about kind of like that funnel process. And again, I wish I could say, yes, join Living Plate RX or really any other program, right? And yes, you're going to see, our revenue ROI in like 30 days. I can't promise you that because I don't know the health of your funnel. So you need to get people into your funnel. You need to serve them with value. And I promise you, eventually you will convert them to paid if you're creating the right kind of content. And remember today, thank you, Mandy, Donna, Caroline. Good. So glad you guys are here with me. So that is a message, while sometimes not popular because a lot of people are kind of stuck, or am I here? Kind of stuck with dysfunctional funnels. And it means you kind of have to go back to the strategy. Sometimes that's not what you want to do, but I promise you, kind of trust the process. In the same way that we are evidence-based practitioners. There is evidence-based marketing practices, and the funnel has been around for a really, really long time, and it has been proven that to kind of work. And it is a numbers game. The more people of your ideal customer avatar, right? You don't want garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you're just attracting anybody into your funnel, you're not really creating a healthy funnel. You need high quality clients, like leads coming in, so that you have a healthy funnel. And the way to do that, pointing back to strategy, is to understand who you are talking to and how you are going to serve them. Super important. So Irene is saying, yes, this makes so much sense. Thank you, Irene. Good. I'm glad it's resonating with you. All right. So if you want to take a deeper dive into this and understanding all of kind of like these moving parts, please go to Elevate Your Practice, sign up, or go to the library and find it and go through that workshop. Really, really valuable. Okay. I just want to advance the slide here just to cover a couple of other things. So today we're talking about planning and scheduling your content. We also, inside of Elevate, focus on the pillars of content that you need to create. Now, for every brand, the pillars are different. I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to create the same content. What I'm suggesting is that health behavior change theory suggests, and all the evidence suggests, that you have to create content in these three pillars, all three, in order to support health behavior change. You do it in your practice, you do it on social media. It is in everything that you do. You create counseling and coaching content. This right here, what I am doing, is counseling and coaching, right? Hosting live events, hosting Q&As, and actually coaching people one-on-one too, providing them with assessments and feedback. That's all in there. Nutrition education, something typically that as practitioners, we're really comfortable with, right? Like most of us can create a handout. Now, our members don't have to create handouts because we create them for you, but that is something typically that we don't struggle with. But the culinary experience, that is a pillar that is severely lacking in our industry. And when I say industry, I mean healthcare in general. I just find it so funny. I'm just going to come and get on my soapbox for a second. I find it so interesting that practitioners call themselves food is medicine practitioners, right? You go to a website, oh, I'm a food is medicine practitioner. I have pretty pictures of food on my website. Well, I'm like, show me the money. Like, show me how you are going to support me as the patient in getting your nutrition recommendations to my plate and how I'm going to feed my family. I promise you that cannot be done without this, right? With this culinary experience pillar. You must, if you are a food as medicine practitioner, now as dietitians and nutrition professionals, we are by definition food as medicine practitioners. Now, obviously, I don't mean that literally, but yes, if food is part of the conversation that you're having with your patients and your clients, you are a food as medicine practitioner, and you need to provide culinary experience. And what does that look like, right? So in terms of the content that you're scheduling and that you're deciding to offer in your practice, you have to offer culinary content. And I don't care what that looks like. If you are a Living Plate RX member, good for you, because you have all the culinary content that you will ever need in your lifetime as a practitioner. If you are not a Living Plate RX member, you can start simply. Like if you're doing a live Q&A, just showing somebody in your, not somebody, but like your audience, your ideal customer avatar, how to make overnight oats or how to make chia pudding, versus just talking about the health benefits of fiber or antioxidants, right? You need to take those concepts and you need to operationalize them. And I really think, again, I'll step off my soapbox for a second. We're not doing that. Like as a community, we are not supporting patients with translating nutrition prescriptions and protocols to their plates. And that's basically why I do what I do. So I get up every morning and do the work for you guys to make sure that you have enough of that culinary content and the nutrition content and the counseling content to really provide a holistic and evidence-based approach to content creation. And that's what you're looking at here. Again, we take a deeper dive into this in our program, Elevate Your Practice. I'm just going to bring this up just for a brief moment. because inside of Elevate, the free workshop, we also share with you how to leverage AI to generate content and to support you, not like cut and paste content or copy and paste. That's not what we do here, but to support you with ideation and getting that content across the finish line. You can't talk about scheduling content these days without AI. If you are a practitioner who is not using AI, it's going to be really difficult for you to compete on time alone. I'm not talking about kind of the quality of content that comes out of AI. I'm really just talking about accelerating your content creation process. So we're going to talk about, we mentioned now, what is your strategy in considering your funnel? And now I want to talk about like literally how much time do I have in a week, right? Like what else am I doing? So let's move on to that now. Any other questions kind of as we're moving along? Oh, good to see you here, Donna. So let's move on to considering how much time do you have in a week? I am not a scheduling expert. My family, this room would be cracking up right now if my family were here. Clearly, I'm not a scheduling expert. I struggle with scheduling on a regular basis because I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm an entrepreneur running a business, right? Like it's just constant. But if you want to make progress, you do need to block time in your week and day to plan out that content. So for some people, it's like, a piece of every day is going to be committed to content creation, or I'm going to block out 2 hours on a Friday. For me, that's what I do. On Friday, if I'm planning to do any kind of social media content or I'm planning a live Q&A, I'll do the agenda. All of that happens in 2 to 3 hours on my admin day, which is Friday, right? And if I can't fit it into that week, it's not going to get done. And I have to be okay with that. I have not posted on Instagram for 2 weeks. Why? Because I was at a conference, because I'm creating software. Like there were a lot of other things going on in the practice and in my business, that needed attention. And those are the same kinds of considerations that you're going to have to make. What can I accomplish this week? And, assign the time to that. If you have more time, awesome. So you know what I'd love to hear from you guys? Oh, Tina, thank you for joining me. Hi, Jody. I want you to type in how many hours per week. This would be an interesting survey. For those of you joining me now, how many hours per week do you have or would you want to have? Because sometimes, our schedule is our own decision, right? How many hours could you dedicate to creating content for your practice? I'm not talking just social media, because sometimes that overwhelms people. Things like handouts, ebooks, special email newsletters to your clients. How many hours per week could you dedicate? And just drop in a number here. Everybody who's on with me now, just drop in a number. Do you have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours? What is it, right? Now, if you hire a virtual assistant to support you with that you're buying back that time, right? So consider that too. So this would be the first step in assessing kind of scheduling content and how much time you have. I'm hearing 2 to 4, 2 to 3, Jody 6. Awesome. So if you have the time personally, Tina is saying 2. That's all good. Anytime is good time, but that will dictate what kind of content you're going to create, because you have to go from ideation to creation to deployment. Right. And sometimes on the deployment side with social media, that can be, that can take up quite a bit of time. So great. So we're hearing like on average, like 3 to 4 hours per week, which I think is enough to hit some kind of attraction in your practice. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that. So if you're just joining me, where I asked the question, how much time per week do you have for creating content for your practice? All kinds of content, newsletters, blogs, emails going out, social media. Drop that in here and we'll kind of put it in context, right? So let's say that you have 4 hours in a week. The first thing you need to do, and here we go again, I'm really sorry for showing this, but we cannot get away from this. What is your strategy telling you have to do? So if you have 4 hours in a week, let's just say you just started your practice, or you're thinking, maybe my funnel isn't so functional. Maybe it's a little dysfunctional and I need to go back. I need to watch the Elevate workshop and do the strategy work, right? That's going to take you an hour if you do the workshop. Great. The work, maybe another 30 minutes. Now you can decide what kind of content am I going to create? Maybe it's going to be all attraction-based content. Dive into what that means. We define that for you and decide what you're going to create. And then maybe that actually goes into next week. You do have to build in time for ideation and alignment. And I use the word alignment in that your content has to align with your strategy. So you're going to do the strategy work. You're going to know who you're talking to and how you're going to serve them. You're going to come up with ideas. And part of coming up with ideas, again, is leveraging leveraging AI. Right here is AI at work, helping me with ideas, right? You just need ideas that align with your strategy. And then once you're there, you decide, what kind of content am I going to create? Okay, get a calendar and start plugging it in. Let me just move forward here. All right. So this is a slide. These are all, Mandy's saying she has 5 hours per week. That's amazing. Now, before I just go into the calendar piece of it and like actually scheduling your content creation process, I want to address, the number of hours versus having a VA come in and buying those hours back. You start with the number of hours you have available, right? Once you start earning income or if you're already there and you're earning income, you need to make the decision, where are my hours best spent? Creating content is non-revenue generating time. Like it does drive practice growth, but you're taking time away from seeing patients, which is how you get paid, or running your programs, which is how you get paid, to engage in the content creation process. If you hire a virtual assistant, you're literally buying that time back, right? So at some point you need to make that decision. We're helping you now. We're not going to, hold on one second. We're not going to be sharing the link here with you today because we've given preference to our content development board for signing up for the VA services that we've now collaborated with an organization to help you with. But on Friday, for those of you who are joining me today, I want you to watch that email if you're interested in VA services. Again, to buy back that time, we've trained a team of VAs on Living Plate RX. So they know how to use our content to create content for your funnel. And so if you already have, I wouldn't hire a VA if you have not created your strategy yet, because that's not going to be helpful. You need to have your strategy in place. You need to have all of your kind of definitions, everything lined up of who you're serving and how you're serving them. And then if you want to buy back that time, you can engage in hiring a VA. And the benefit to working with our partner Flourish, who we're partnering with, is that you would be able to hire a VA who's already trained on Living Plate RX, right? So it saves you time. We're all about saving time and earning more. So that's happening on Friday, that email going out. So for those of you who are excited about that opportunity, whether you're ready for it now or in 3 months, show me a clapping hand emoji. Just drop in clapping hand emoji if the VA services is something that you're excited about potentially exploring, right? So hiring somebody to help you with this could be really important, but you are still in charge of deciding what content you're going to be creating and how it's going to help you build, this healthy funnel. All right. So let's talk about, actually, what I want to talk about first before we go into the calendar? I want to talk about cadence. Oh, Caroline is clapping her hands. 3 clapping hands. Great. It sounds like you're excited about that, Caroline. I'm super, super pumped about making this available to our members. Good job, Tina. Great. So considering your cadence, we talked in Elevate, we did talk about the cadence of your content and really considering, what do I do weekly? What do I do monthly? And what do I do quarterly? Now, you should not be creating content daily. So we just kind of skip that one. You can create weekly content on a regular cadence, same type of content. Again, content that speaks to your ideal customer avatar. And you can schedule that out, right? So it could be like a weekly email, a weekly newsletter, or an email series, or again, showing up live, doing a private Q&A. Like if you have a group program, you can do private, something like that. That's weekly. When I say cadence, it means you're going to be committing and doing it every week. It could also apply to social media. If you do not want to show up on social media 5 times a week, you absolutely do not have to show up 5 times a week. Maybe it's 3 times a week for you. Okay, pick the content that you want. Now, for social media, for for our members and people who aren't members, like that kind of content, because it's short form content, and the half-life of social media content is not great, right? So I wouldn't spend a ton of time like pouring into like the perfect caption and the perfect video. Like just post the content and do it at a cadence that works for you, right? To maintain your brand and your presence. And then move on to considering your monthly what are you going to do monthly, right? Are you going to offer a free webinar? Are you going to do a monthly blog? Like whatever that is, you need to figure that out. And then quarterly, what are you going to do? That could look like a launch of some kind. That could look like a membership launch. Yeah, usually it's bigger. So the quarterly kind of content is really for people who, usually a bigger project, and usually for people who already have that healthy funnel, right? You have a healthy sales funnel going, you can schedule quarterly content. Most of us would start focusing on the weekly and the monthly content. Okay. Oh, perfect. Caroline says she is very excited about the VA services. I knew our members would be. Okay. So once you have, and now when I say consider cadence, you're actually going to write it down like weekly, monthly, quarterly. This is kind of what is part of my strategy. And this is what I'm going to be focusing on this year in 2024. Okay. I just want to open up this screen. Okay. So I'm going to actually show you a calendar. I made a copy of the calendar that we released this week, but this just kind of shows you how you can do it really simply, really free. Just a Google Calendar or any kind of calendar, and fill in the days with the content that you need to create. So if it's all attraction content, what does that look like? If some is, I would do a mix, right? Of if you already have a funnel in place and you're looking to just make it a little bit healthier, do content that's a mix of attraction content and serving content. You could do a content calendar for just membership. If you have a membership program, you could do a content calendar just for them. So you're not limited to one content calendar. You can actually create you could do a social media content calendar and a practice content calendar. And let's say you have a special program like a membership, you can do a membership calendar. If you're just getting started, you can just do one. I am going to share with you this content calendar here. All right, let me just scroll up, make sure that everybody can see. Yep. All right, so this is blown up. Can I minimize this a little bit? Let's just see, just so that you can get a bigger picture. There we go. All right, so this is our April Content That Connects calendar. Now, this calendar is a calendar that we release it every month for our members. But you can go ahead and just like steal it. If you're not a member, just steal this idea. It's totally, totally great to use in your practice. You'll see up here in the upper right-hand corner, I have the content pillars: nutrition education. Now in culinary education, I actually have two: culinary and how-to, because the how-to content that you provide is super niche related. Like, how do you use this for X, right? Or how do you overcome this with X? You're just kind of answering your niche's pain points there. And then there's a connecting and coaching content piece, and then we plug in holidays, right? You're also going to plug in your special events. That's why understanding your cadence can help you with scheduling your content. So let's say April, I'm doing, let me just come into the picture a little bit. Let's say in April, I'm doing a live launch. I want to plug that in first, because there's content that happens before and after. So you're going to need to do recruitment for a live launch. You're going to run your live launch like a free webinar. Doesn't have to be complicated. I say live launch and everybody thinks, oh, Amy Porterfield, like thousands of people. Like, for most of us, that's not the reality. Like, just, you're going to be hosting a free webinar in April. Or let's say you wanted to host a free webinar. It's not too late. National Nutrition Month is this month. Maybe you want to offer a free webinar on a particular pain point for your ideal customer avatar. So let's say you serve people with IBS. That's always a great one, because it's the pain points are kind of obvious. It's the symptoms, right? How to control symptoms of IBS, or learning about foods that could support IBS or support alleviation of symptoms of IBS, right? So you need to understand your strategy first, create that webinar, and then you have to recruit. So maybe a week before, there's content that leads up to your webinar, and then there's content after your webinar to get them into paid programming, right? So plugging in your monthly and or your quarterly content first can really help fill that calendar. So it helps take the overwhelm out of it. Hillary is saying your April, oh, okay. Hillary, thank you so much for dropping this in. The April calendar is found in the business and marketing tools section, the marketing tools section of your library. I think in our new library, we're going to have the content calendars in their own collection because there's one every month. So there's a lot now. And you can utilize like previous months, like go back to March 2023 and pull out some of that content for National Nutrition Month because it's the same. Again, when you're thinking about cadences, like sometimes the health calendars can really help you out by giving you, an idea. Okay, I'm going to be focusing on nutrition as it relates to X, right? As it relates to my ideal customer avatar. All right, so you plug in kind of your bigger events and all of that, and you make sure, just come back here, that you have your, all different kinds of content kind of plugged in here. Now, this is kind of heavily focused on social media because that is what my community has asked for. But this calendar could be 0 social media. And what you do is you plug in your ideas here so you can leverage AI to support you with ideas. Take a look at the special days of the month. Who knew that there was a National Pecan, Licorice, Peanut Butter and Jelly and Garlic Day? They think of everything, but it can help you out with creating content. So for, let's see, National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day is on the 2nd. So we have a reel for a PBJ smoothie, right? So you can, create that. Our members get access to this content and links directly to the content. But for those of you who are creating your own content, create the kind of content that kind of, fits you. If you're not comfortable doing a reel, then just go live making, a peanut butter and jelly version of something and share it with your clients, or maybe a recipe and share it with your clients. But the key is to plug in the link to that content. Most of us create content on Canva because it's very user friendly and it creates a really high quality professional product. You don't have to create it on Canva. I strongly recommend it because it's amazing. But you want to plug in the idea first. So plug in all of your ideas. That's how we create these calendars. We plug in all of our ideas and then we're like, okay, let's create, or for our members, find the content that's going to fit into our calendar. And you can see, I don't know if you can read that, but in the like on Monday the 1st, so this is Alcohol Awareness Month. April is Alcohol Awareness Month. So we have a carousel post on how your body processes alcohol. Let me just show you what that looks like. I'm going to click on that and you can see this link immediately goes into Canva where I have stored this social post, right? So it helps. You need to schedule your content, but scheduling it, scheduling it is important, but knowing like where it is and how it's organized is also really important to kind of keep the process efficient. So plug in your ideas, create the content, and then link it back into the calendar. And then you'll also note here, we left a note, and you should also in your calendar, keep notes for yourself about, what else can I do to connect with my ideal customer avatar? And here we say, go live showing what a serving of alcohol looks like, because most people don't know what a serving of alcohol looks like for real, right? So that's not even a cooking demo, but that's actually like a show and tell. That's how you connect. I talk a lot about, considering your values as part of your strategy. And if one or a set of your values is like compassion, empathy, supportive, nurturing, right? If any one of those is your value, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to show up in some way. You have to either show up this way on video or on a green screen, on reel, or doing a live, because it's really difficult to communicate those values in a logo, right? Corporations that have a really hard time they spend a lot of money figuring out, how am I going to connect with these people? Sometimes they hire celebrities to do it, right? But you need to show up for your ideal customer avatar. So do it in a way that you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with doing a cooking demo or a live event, then literally just show up and show them like, what does a serving of alcohol look like? Or if it's National Oatmeal Day, share with them the different kinds of oatmeal. There's whole oats, there's stone ground. There's like it's a whole lot of oats that you can show and talk about, really the sky's the limit there, right? Okay, so let's say, okay, so April is coming up, right? So you're probably going to want to start preparing for April. You can start plugging in your content now, right? Unless you want to get started in March, in which case, like, start with March. You don't have to, just because you're starting late does not mean anything. Like, just go ahead and start with scheduling your post maybe for next week, because it's going to take you a little bit of time to kind of get used to it. But then once you have a calendar like this, you copy it, you duplicate it, remove the links, and add it again. You don't even have to change. Just see if you can see. Here we go. Let's go pull this back up. You don't even have to change your content types up here, right? Just change the days, but you still have your culinary ed, your nutrition ed. And in doing that, you're kind of making sure that you're hitting all the marks for kind of evidence-based nutrition practice. Okay, thumbs up from those with me right now. Thumbs up emoji if this is something you think you can commit to. Now, if any of you on with me are already Living Plate RX members and you're not doing a thumbs up, we need to talk, because this is done for you. This is already done for you. You really just need to go in now and edit it. So go up, we're getting a thumbs up. Good, give me a thumbs up. All right, so this is something that you can do for sure. So go to your business and marketing tools folder and pull up the calendar and kind of work it, right? And see what you can do. Okay, so asking yourself before you schedule the content, do I want to host special events? What kinds of, technology do I need to deploy these events? Like, am I comfortable with it? Like, there's a lot to consider there, but I want you to consider that before you start plugging in content, because just getting on like content generation wheel without putting all of this stuff in place can be overwhelming. Okay, and then you're just going to plug your content plan into the calendar. Oh, Jody, Tina, Caroline. Yep, great, perfect. So then just plug your content into the calendar, and then you can focus on, okay, how am I going to deploy it? Now, deploying content can be something as simple as printing the handout. If you are in practice, I'm in my private practice right now, I'm in the teaching kitchen. If I'm hosting a cooking class, that's my event on one particular day. I need to decide the 3 recipes that we are going to be making in that cooking class. It's no different if you're doing like a live event. Okay, I'm going to do Test Kitchen Tuesday, next Tuesday. I'm going to pick 1 recipe. Great. That is a piece of content. That recipe is the content, or that collection of recipes is a content. Maybe your focus that day, you're talking about antioxidants. Is there content for that? Yes, sir. Let's go into the library, or let's create content on antioxidants. Now, as you move through your calendar and you start scheduling this content creation process, that is not a one and done ever. That is never, ever a one and done piece of content. You are going to repurpose that content over and over and over again. You're going to squeeze every bit of content juice out of that. So if you create a handout on antioxidants, or you use a handout on antioxidants from your library, that is so easily converted into a social media post. Like, just do it, right? So then plug that into your calendar too. So just try and go deep with your content as much as possible, so that, again, you're not always looking for new and fresh. I see that kind of being a barrier too with many of our members, because again, you have access to so much content and you get new content every month. It's kind of easy to fall into the trap of, shiny fish like all the time. But sometimes it's just going deeper with content, especially if you know and can prove on social media that that content is resonating with your ideal customer avatar. If you do a post on social media and it performs better than another post, then figure out, what else can I create on that topic? How else can I show up and kind of expand that? Heather is asking a question. Where do you find the elevation workshop? Let me show you, Heather. Okay, so if you are a Living Plate RX member, this is what it looks like. Let me just show you where it is. All right, so you're going to go into your library. Now, your library, when you sign into Living Plate RX, you end up here in your meal planning dashboard. We have this library icon here. Oh, wait, let me just here. You end up in your dashboard. Now, when we deploy our new software, this is not going to be the case. You're going to be brought to a new Living Plate RX site where both the meal planner and the library exist together. But for now, you end up in your meal planner and just click on the library icon here, and then you sign into your library. You're going to be brought to your library here, and the Elevate Your Workshop is right here. It's like 4 down, 1, 2, 3. Yep, it's the 4th one down. So you're going to click on access content, and it's all here. The recording of the 1-hour training, and what we do, as we do with everything, is we operationalize. Oh, wait, I didn't share that screen. Hold on. There we go. Let's do that again. Sorry, Heather. You're going to go scroll down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like the 5th one down. Here is the Elevate Your Practice. Click on Access Content, and you are there. Okay. As with everything that we do, we present kind of the evidence, right? The evidence here, it's not nutrition-based evidence, but the evidence here is really sales and marketing evidence. Like, we make the case for why you need to have a strategy and why you should not create one piece of content without considering that. Now, if you are not a Living Fit RX member, we are dropping in the sign-up sheet. You can get access to it for free, but our members have it inside of their library. Sorry, Heather, I needed to be clear on that. But once you're in this, it looks the same for everybody. And the event recording is here. This is where we present the theory, but then we give you actionable steps that you can take, and we give you all the content that you need to do that. I think that's one of the biggest differentiators, and probably a really good lesson for those of you who are going to be doing free workshops. You need to provide extraordinary value to your community. And you can do that both free and paid. So I provide free content as part of all of my workshops. But then, as you can see here, there's a content bundle that our like our viewers and our students, practitioners, can use to further kind of elevate their practice, to operationalize what they're learning. So there's a lot of different kind of marketing and sales strategies that you can employ when you're doing free workshops. But I don't want you to get overwhelmed with that. Like, just doing a free workshop that provides extraordinary value is like good enough. Really, really good attraction content. So the Elevate Your Practice recording is here, and all of the content there is to the left. Okay. Irene is saying, thanks, Jeannie, for having the content for April on alcohol awareness. As a pharmacist, oh, let me post that because that's really great. Thank you, Irene, for sharing that. Okay, Irene is saying, thank you for having the content for April on alcohol awareness. As a pharmacist, this information will be very helpful when I talk about alcohol and medications. That's great. So Irene is clearly in her lane, right? She is a pharmacist, and she talks about like drug and alcohol interactions. And that could be really important for people to understand, for her community to understand. Thank you for that comment, Irene. You're welcome. And Irene, if there's any other content that you need around that, please let us know. We'll be happy to support you with that. Okay, so let's go back. Hold on, I just want to go back to my banners here. Okay, so there we go. Any questions on the calendar, on Elevate, on the process, right? So creating, let's come back here. We were talking about scheduling, right? That was our topic today. Start with your strategy. Let me just go through here real quick. This is what we covered today. If you're just joining us now, you can go back before we move on to Q&A. I just want to review our agenda so that if you joined us late, you know what you can expect if you listen to this recording. So we're talking about scheduling content. First, you have to start with your strategy. Who are you? Who are you talking to, and how are you going to serve them? You also have to consider the health of your funnel. Where are you in your kind of funnel creation process? If you're new to practice, you're going to be creating and scheduling time for more attraction-based content. If you already are in practice, maybe you're focusing on service and retention content. But I also want you to consider if you have a dysfunctional funnel, right? If you have a lot of people coming into your funnel or not enough people coming into your funnel and you're still not converting them into paid clients, then perhaps there's some dysfunction there and you need to revisit that, which means go back to, you guessed it, your strategy. All right. You also need to consider how much time you have in a week. So we did talk about kind of considering your cadence. What's my weekly content, my monthly, my annual? And then I want you to not forget to schedule time for ideation and alignment. One of the things that I do is I have a notebook with me all the time. I often. I know it's terrible, but I do wake up in the middle of the night with like an idea. And so I'll just quickly, run to where my phone is. I try not to keep my phone in the bedroom, but I run to where my phone is and I like type it in. Otherwise you wake up in the morning, you're like, what was that great idea that I had, right? If you see somebody else doing something, like if what I'm doing here is something that you think you would be comfortable with, then maybe you want to try doing a Q&A for your community. You can start small, maybe within like a private Facebook group if you have that, or you can just do it in some. You can partner with somebody and do it in their Facebook group. Just start small and get comfortable. So anyhow, ideation, make sure you have time for that, and making sure that your ideas align with your strategy. If you're like seeing all this kind of really great, cool social media stuff, but part of your strategy is not social media, like don't bother. Like just keep swiping, move on. You can look at it for pleasure, but it's not going to help you in your funnel. Okay. And then also asking yourself, like, do you want to host special events? Another important question that you'll have to ask yourself, and then you can move on to plugging content into your calendar. Any questions on calendar before we move to Q&A? Now, for those of you who are on with me now, if you have any questions about Living Plate RX, the library, the meal planner, anything, now is a great time to ask. I'm going to cover, we have quite a few questions that have been coming in over the past few weeks since our last Q&A. So I'm just going to start tackling those right now. And I'm going to do some screen sharing. So I'm going to watch myself to make sure that I get the right pages for you. All right. So question we get very often, and we see this posted in our private Facebook group quite regularly. What meal plan should I use for X? Right? So typically it is some type of nutrition prescription. Now, our meal planner supports almost all nutrition prescriptions. So anti-inflammatory would be kind of very generalizable. The anti-inflammatory nutrition prescription applies to many different chronic diseases. So that's a good one. Maybe it's the Flex plan, which is really the Mediterranean diet. That could be great. Maybe it's low FODMAP. So you need to take a look at what you're trying to accomplish, what is the protocol, the prescription that you're looking to fulfill, and then refer to this. Let me bring up the library again. And I'm going to go into my meal planner masterclass because this is where you're going to go. And here there is a quick reference guide. You can see it's right here. Quick reference guide to pre-populated meal plans. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it's a practitioner reference guide. And what you're going to do is you're going to download it. You can take a look at it. So this is not anything you're going to be editing in Canva. This is just a PDF guide that I created for you. And what this guide does is it takes you through how to decide which meal plan is right, which pre-curated meal plan is right for your nutrition prescription. So I'm going to scroll pretty fast here, not to make you dizzy, but all of our meal plans are listed here with explanation of the protocols to the right. If you're not seeing something or you have further questions about what is typed in here, please let me know, but this is where you're going to go. So first, consider your nutrition prescription and what you know about that evidence-based protocol. And then you're going to turn to our reference guide and be like, okay, is it anti-inflammatory? Is it Flex? Now, sometimes it's just about the nutrition prescription. Like if it's low FODMAP, it's low FODMAP, right? But if you are running, let's say, a weight maintenance program, and you could use so many different meal plans, or you could use anti-inflammatory, you could use Flex. It needs to consider where your population or your patient is at that time and what's appropriate for them. For example, if somebody has been touched by, let's just pick a condition, heart disease, right? And you think that like lower, like blood sugar management could help them, the Flex plan could be perfectly appropriate. Now, the Flex plan is Mediterranean. So if that patient has been following like the standard American diet, like that's good. Like transitioning to a Mediterranean diet is definitely going to get them a positive health outcome versus taking them more restrictive to the anti-inflammatory, which is much lower carbohydrate. So always consider where your patient is at. And I would say, just, from my experience with my community and in practice, be as least restrictive as possible. We also get the question about the number of days populated in the meal plan. So let me just skip to that real quickly, because that could be important to answering this question too, of which meal plan do I use? So here are our meal plans, and I'm in the meal planning dashboard now. Go to meal plans. You can see we have 21 base plans. We have some specialty plans. The mealtime method plans are plans that align with courses that we build for you in the library. So it's a method that we use to build these courses and these meal plans. We have some partner plans. And then, of course, any signature plan that you create is going to be listed down here. So you're going to pick a plan that most closely aligns with your patient or your community's needs or your protocol. And then you can decide, is it going to be a 3-day or a 5-day? I practiced long enough to, well, hold on one second here. What am I doing? Here we go. I practiced long enough to say with confidence that a 5-day meal plan is almost never a good idea. So I have them available because our practitioners have asked for them. I just don't think they're the best way to provide meal plans, because people get overwhelmed. Patients get overwhelmed. I mean, they're coming to you looking for guidance, and it's just like a fire hose of recipes. A 3 or a 4-day meal plan is way more than enough. Nobody follows a meal plan. Let's just make that clear right now. Nobody should be expected to make breakfast, snack, lunch, and dinner. So don't obsess about giving them all the recipes for every day of the week, because truly nobody will be able to sustain that for any period of time. What you want to do is provide them a space, a learning space, right? Where they can see, what does it look like? What does a Mediterranean or flexible meal plan look like? What does a meal plan that helps me control my blood sugars look like? Right? Oh, it looks like having, eggs and chia pudding for breakfast. Oh, I see now. Maybe snack is a combination of a carb, a protein, and a fat. So the meal plans are meant to support the counseling process, not to replace them by saying, just eat this and it'll be fine. That I needed to say that. Sorry. I cut on my soapbox a little bit about meal plans. Look, I built software from scratch because I needed meal plans in my practice, but always they were used as a place to have a really beautiful conversation around food as it relates to a nutrition prescription, not to be the nutrition prescription, like eat this and this will happen. So to answer the question, what meal plan should I use for X? If you understand your protocol and your prescription, I give you all the information you need inside of that guide to answer that question. Any questions on that? Okay. How do I remove or edit text on videos? We get this one a lot too. So, and I love that question because there's actually a variety of ways to answer that. The videos that we provide you, now let me, for those of you who are not familiar, let me go ahead and share with you what that looks like. I'm going to go back into my library, and I'm going to go to my cooking videos, and I'll show you what this person was asking. I'm actually going to answer a couple of questions on these videos. Right, so here are the videos that were published in March. April is being published today. We just had to do some quick edits on that. So here are our videos for March, right? So it was all about plant-based milks and making your own. Now, I'm going to share this with you just quickly. You'll see here's the actual video that you have access to. And this video has text on it, right? It talks about how to prepare. It's just music, but you can see that there is text across the top here. This text is embedded into the video. You can't edit that text. But if you wanted to, so a couple of things. If you wanted to use this as a reel, you actually don't need to edit this at all, because we provide you with a reel, and I'll show you where that is. So this is a full-length video. Now, it's appropriate when I say socials, that means if you wanted to post this video into Facebook, you could just post it as is because it's short enough. Although I don't think Facebook has a limit on time. But typically any video that you post on socials, you try and keep pretty brief just because of the nature of the platforms. So this would post very well into Facebook, and it could post very well into Instagram as well, though there would be some black space. So the better option for that would be in your social media content. So let's just go to socials. Now on the reels, we have removed the text for you. So let me go to our social media content here. And let's go down to reels in April. Oh, the April reels are already published. Okay, here they go. Let's open up that same video, and you can see that this video has no text on it. It's just the process of making the recipe. And in the caption, let me just open this up for you so that you can see exactly what it looks like. Can you still see this? Yeah, perfect. Oh, wait, I didn't. I want to share this instead. Sorry. Okay, so we opened up the Canva reel, and you can see this has no text on it. So moving forward, all videos that we create, we're going to do a full length one for your Facebook, like Facebook posts, and for like course content. And then we're also going to be creating reels for you. Now, every single reel has a caption associated with it. So you don't even have to do that work either. It's all here for you. But now you can add your branding, your, some text in the reel. Okay, who's happy to see that? Let me see more clapping hand emojis for that. We've removed the text from the reel. So now you have total flexibility for these videos. Somebody also asked how, we're going to do this one here. Oh, good. Lots of thumbs up here. Great. What if a cooking video doesn't fit my format? So it's not for Facebook, it's not for Reels, like it's something, you wanted to do something different. The best thing to do is to utilize, and I do it all the time, I'm going to show you right now, is to utilize a mock-up. So I'm going to share with you, I don't have it open, so let me open it up right now. I'm going to share this, my Instagram page, right? This is a really perfect example of how I used a mock-up to embed a full-length video. So all of the text is showing, it's like the same video, right? It's just inside of a computer. So it's inside of a frame, so it's nice and neat. If I took this video and just embedded it as a reel on Instagram, it would cut off the text, and it wouldn't look as neat and tidy. So you can leverage mockups. You can just go into Canva and search computer mockups. You can do phone mockups. We have some really cool. Let me actually show you what that looks like, because I'm like obsessed with these new templates that we've just published for you. Let me just share this tab again. Let's go to, let me see, the How to Wow post. I think we did it. Yeah, let's do the teriyaki salmon with broccoli. Okay, let me show you here what we've done. So what we've done here is we have a cover photo of this 3-ingredient meal, and we've plugged in the video onto the template here. Irene is loving this. Sherry, you like this too? Yeah. So a lot of different ways, like don't limit yourself to using these no text reels as just like a reel. You can use it as an in feed, like a carousel as well. So we're going to experiment with some more templates for you here so that, oh gee, and I didn't change, let me do that again. I'm so sorry. I do this a lot. So hold on, let me share this tab instead. Okay, here's a teriyaki salmon with broccoli, 3 ingredients. And then if we go to the second page of this carousel, we've actually embedded the reel here. So just again, so much content that you can create from one simple piece of content. And here again, we have also provided you with the caption. So just go ahead and repurpose the heck out of this, because these are good ones. So the theme for the cooking videos for this month, for this month's drop, was 6 ingredients or less. Oh no, yes, 6 ingredients or less. So not including like pantry staples like salt and pepper. And then next month, we're doing build and bake. So basically just adding things to a roasting pan and putting it in the oven. We've gotten a lot of requests from our community saying we need some really, really simple recipes for our busy patients and clients. And so we're keeping it simple for you. Okay, so if the cooking video doesn't fit my format, make a format so that it does fit, and that mock-ups are going to be your best friend there. Okay, meal order in a planner and adding a meal. Okay, so let's go into the meal planner again. I'm going to share this tab with you. Here we go. All right, let's go into the meal planner. Now, let's say you are building a signature plan which is what we recommend. So you have all of these base plans. Now you can issue your clients an anti-inflammatory or a flex meal plan just very simply. But we strongly recommend that you build a signature planner. If for nothing else, you just change the name to make it more relevant to your brand or your program or whatever it is. We recommend that you do that. And then you can control the plan that thousands of people get. So this is a very scalable way to provide meal plans. Create a few signature plans for your practice. If you reflect on, and this is also part of scheduling your content too, is the meal planning piece. Think about your practice and who you serve. It is likely in your practice that you serve like 4 pillars of clients. You have like 4 protocols maybe, or even less, which would be great. You want to create a signature plan for each one so that when a client comes in, you can just issue that plan. And the question came in about somebody who wanted to add a snack to their meal planner. So let's go ahead and do that. These are meal plans that I've already created, but let's say I wanted to add a snack. You're going to go to configure, right? This is at the very beginning of creating a signature meal plan. This is where you're going to start. So if you want to go back into a plan, you would hit configure. But if you're just creating the signature plan, this is the page you're going to see anyway. And you just scroll down here. Oh, here it is. And you're going to see the meals, right? All of our meal plans have breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. That cannot be changed. We did have a question from a practitioner a long time ago who said, well, I don't want to provide the snack. I'm like, great. Provide a hydration opportunity, like just plug in water, literally to remind clients that they should be drinking water or a shake or tea or whatever it is you want there. You can't remove any of these, but what you can do is you can add a meal. So let's say I wanted to do a pre-workout or midday. Let's just call it like a midday snack. Is midday one word or hyphenated? I think it's hyphenated. Midday snack. Okay. Between like breakfast and lunch. Oh, actually, that would be considered the midday, but let's add this anyway. And then we're going to mark it as a snack and we're going to add the meal. Okay. Oh, there it is. So now this meal is added and I can position it wherever I want. So maybe we'll call it mid-morning snack. So that is done. So now I have breakfast, my mid-morning snack, lunch, snack, and dinner. That's how you add it. You can't have snack. You can't have 2 snacks, but you can have a different name. So pre-workout, post-workout, mid-morning, whatever you want. And then you just add it and save it here. And then when you go into your meal planner, see, hopefully I did that right. I haven't done this in a really long time. Oh, darn it. Which one was it that I did? Nope, that wasn't it. Let me go back. I forgot which meal plan I actually assigned that to. Okay, I think is it this one? There it is. Okay, so now I've created another field. I have a mid-morning snack now. All right, so now I have to pay attention. Now I have to plug something in. So, mid-morning snack, something like a smoothie could be really nice. Just drag that over and drop that in. Now my nutrition facts changed for that plan. So if you're looking to increase calories or protein, really anything in a plan, adding an additional snack could be a really great option here. Okay, so you can just add them different things here. Okay. Next question. Free trials for meal plans. So there's two ways to answer this question. Are there free trials for meal plans? And like, how can I change it? Like how do I deal with that? So I'm going to start sharing again. Just go here. Let's go back to our dashboard. Okay. Now your dashboard is where you're going to be setting promotion codes and whether or not you want to offer a free trial. And you do that in settings. We're going to click on settings and your subscription settings are going to be listed here. Now, if you have disabled free trials, I have on this particular account, if this is disabled, you cannot offer free trials. You can't create a promotional code. You can't have people sign up for free for any period of time. This has to be enabled. So if you click that on, I don't want to enable static plans, but let's say I want to offer free trials for custom plans. I can designate however much I want to charge for that custom plan, but I do want to enable a free trial. By default, a free trial is 3 days. And we've gotten the question like, why 3 days? Like, why would you want to give somebody 3 days? Just in our experience of doing this for like now close to 10 years, just in the meal planning space, 3 days gives people enough time to look and consider the value of what you're presenting to them. 1 day doesn't give them enough time, and more than 3 days can sabotage kind of your sales process if you're selling them, right? So we have 3 days built in, but let's say you wanted to offer more time on the free trial. That's where you create a promo code. So you can create, it's basically a coupon code that you can extend the free trial for and give it to patients. So let's say you have people sign up, or you're running a promotion. I'm giving away a month of meal planning for free, right? Super high value and great attraction content. You can set this for 30 days, and then your code could be 30-day plan, something like that. Whatever, it should be related to what the plan is. And then you'll be able to offer the promo code. Any questions on the promo code or the trial? Starts with 3 days, and then you can extend it to whatever you want. Now, once you extend the free trial, what happens on day 31? In this case, for this practice, whoever this is, right? This is my demo account. Nothing happens on day 31. If you enable renewal emails, let me see here. Oh, that toggle isn't working there. So there's a setting wrong here. Sorry about that. But the weekly emails, there we go. You can enable these here, where they'll get a renewal email. So on day 31, they'll get an email saying, hey, hope you enjoyed the meal plan. If you want to sign up, click here. And then they would pay the $129 per month if they wanted to do that. Okay. And that's all done here. So the renewal emails, the weekly emails, you can send or not. The weekly emails simply remind people on Friday, log into your meal planner. They're branded for you. We send them out. You don't have to worry about them. But some people don't want that communication going out. So what happens on day 31 is entirely up to you. If you are upselling them to a different kind of a program, then you're going to want to disable this. Any questions on that one? Okay, marching right along. Okay. Adding you to courses. This was a great question that came in from a member saying, you have access to these done for you courses. Some of the courses we provide you with kind of narrated slide decks, mostly as a guide, not necessarily for you to use in practice. You really should be showing up with your voice and your likeness in these digital courses. So we provide you with the transcript, and what you do is you take the slide deck and you simply record your voice walking them through the slide deck using the transcript. And we also give you the facilitator's guide. So you have a lesson plan that tells you slide by slide what needs to be said, but you're the expert in that niche. So you're going to want to build out the content with, really rich narration. And that's how you add you to courses. You can also, wherever you're hosting your courses, remember, Living Plate RX is your library. We're like your back end nutrition office for the content. But how you deliver these courses is going to be up to you, whether you use an EHR or a learning management system like a Kajabi or Teachable. That's up to you. We do recommend that within courses, you build in interactions with you. That's where your clients are going to get the best outcomes and where you're going to make the deepest connection. And that could look like, hosting a group Zoom call or hosting a live event as part of that. That's how you add you to the courses. Technically, how do you do it? You just use Canva. Right? So pull up the Canva slide deck, hit present record, like literally hit present record, and you're there. Like that's all you have to do. And then you can I do recommend that you either have your face bubble showing up. Some people say that's distracting. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I don't think it matters. But as long as you break every once in a while to come, face to screen to connect, I think that's going to give you the best result in terms of people getting to know, like, and trust you. Any questions on kind of recording or adding you to courses? Okay, cool. Now we're going to move on to some fun stuff. special event that we are having. So in May, we will be live in person at today's dietitian conference, the symposium. If you have not registered, Jen, if you're still on with me, could you drop the link for our community to register? It is a discount link for our community. So if you sign up now, you get a $100 discount, and we will see you there. We are running a pre-symposium mastermind called Fill Your Funnel. You'll have an opportunity to sign up for that too. So Jen, if you could drop that form in there, or Hillary, thank you. If you can drop the Fill Your Funnel Mastermind waitlist, we do have a waitlist going because it's by application only. The Fill Your Funnel Mastermind is going to be 3 hours with me and my team talking about the sales funnel and the content that you need to create to fill it and make it healthy. And the benefit to joining the mastermind, and this is in person only, so you need to be at Today's Dietitian first. So sign up for Today's Dietitian. It's in Salt Lake City. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be hosting some really cool events. If you're a part of the mastermind, part of that, as with most masterminds, is going to be follow-up. We're going to have 3 months of accountability groups. So what that enables us to do in the mastermind is to really focus on the strategy. Like what is your strategy and where do you need to start in your funnel? And then we're going to support you with selecting that content, giving you that content and really supporting you, and then following up for the next 3 months with really execution and building out that calendar. So I thought it was really important to share with you today because it really does point back to scheduling your content and deciding what content am I going to be using and when. Celine is asking a question. Do you have a link for content board members? And should I go ahead and pay for the session too? Celine, thank you so much. So for those of you who don't know Celine, Celine is part of our content development board, and those members actually get free registration to both the mastermind as well as the conference. So Celine, all you need to do, all of our content board members need to do, is get yourself to Today's Dietitian in Salt Lake City. I do want you to let us know if you're going. Celine, we did send out an email last week with the free registration link for our board members, and you'll be able to go. And for those of you who are not on the board, if you come, you will get to meet the board. And these are some incredible, powerful practitioners that help us with creating content for you. So you'll get to meet everybody there. And again, we're going to be having a lot of fun, special meals, cocktail parties. So if you're thinking about going, this should definitely get you off the fence. The Fill Your Funnel Mastermind, for those who are not content board members, is just $99. And we have to charge simply to cover the cost of the room and the AV and all of that. And we're also going to be serving breakfast. But aside from that, everything else is, on us, and we're going to provide really, really incredible value. Oh, great, Celine, great. I'm so glad that you're going. It's going to be super cool to see you there. Allison is asking, can you please record just your face, come to hello on Canva when you are recording your slide deck? Oh, that's great. Allison, that could be done in like a post-production scenario. So so what Allison is asking, that's a really great question. Let me pull that up here for everybody to see. Okay, can you record just your come to hello on Canva? No, I don't think you can, because when you pause the recording, you can continue to record, but I don't know that you can record your whole face inside of Canva. I think the easier thing to do, Allison, and what I have done in the past, is go ahead and record the entire slide deck, and then post-production, download that recorded slide deck and insert breaks. And you can do that with free software, iMovie, any kind of free video editing software. You can split it and insert a video of yourself. If anybody else knows how to do that, if anybody here is a little bit more tech savvy, you can add that. That would be great. But Allison, that's what I would do. It would be post-production, because sometimes that's hard to do. Now, Allison, I would say that if you're comfortable doing what I'm doing today, it could be really easy to record and do the come to hello inside of software like StreamYard. So outside of Canva, you absolutely can do just what I'm doing today. You saw how I shared the slide deck. So let me just go to a slide right now and I'll show you what that looks like. Let me see here. There we go. but I want to share something else. Let me just wait. I want to remove that. I want to show you how this is done, like in like real time, right? So let me just can see everything else. And okay, let me just hide this so we can see it. All right. So I am going to share my screen. Stop the screen. Okay. I'm going to present and I'm going to share my screen. Now, what I am sharing with you right now, Allison, is the presenter view in Canva. So I have Canva open to a slide deck, but it's the presenter view. It's called Audience Window, and here it is. Now, you can't see my face, so you could actually record a slide deck in Canva, but it's using other video software. You can see how I'm advancing the slides here. So that could be really helpful to just kind of getting it all done at once. And then you wouldn't have post-production. And then you could always come to hello, right? Or you can do it with your little bubble in the corner there. You don't have to go live in StreamYard. You actually can record. So that would be additional software that you could use to just kind of get it all done at once. And yeah, but it does require that you just be really comfortable, because once I stop this recording, I'm done. Like I'd have to start all over again. So just you could either facilitate it, Allison, as a live class and record it, which would be really, I think, cool and super authentic if you're comfortable with it. And then you have like kind of all these opportunities. Otherwise, you could record the entire thing and then post-production cut out kind of any bloopers if you want. How much is StreamYard? I'm not sure. Once I'm done with this stream, I'll post it because if I can't go to the home screen while I'm streaming, I will post it. It's for the value that I get out of it. It is worth it 100% because I can stream to Facebook, I can stream to YouTube, I can stream to LinkedIn, and now I haven't done it yet, but I can also stream to Instagram, which is really powerful. So they have the different format. So I'm streaming now landscape because I'm going into platforms that support that. But if I wanted to go live into Instagram, I could do that too from StreamYard. So whatever it is, it's worth. Oh, so Hillary just, maybe I wonder, Hillary, if I have a, like an affiliate link where they can get a discount. We'll see. Can you stream all at the same time is a question from Allison. To certain platforms. So far you can stream to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn because they all have the same format, right? So it's more about the format than the ability to stream. I think I could stream into Instagram right now as well, but it would not look as good because it's landscape, not the format that Instagram prefers. So you can stream into a lot of different places. Again, I use those three. So if you could share the affiliate link, yes, I'll see if I have an affiliate link. I'll share it with you. Again, whatever it is, you're going to get whatever value you want out of it. The more, the more you use it, the more value you're going to get. Okay. And then the last thing I just wanted to share with you is a podcast that I just did. I just proofed it. I'm actually not even done listening to it. But I think it's really, I know it will be really valuable for those of you who either take insurance or are considering taking insurance for your practice. The podcast was with Amy Plano, and she is the expert for reimbursement for dietitians and CNSs. So if you are even if you're not credentialed and you're like considering getting credentialed in insurance, it really is a podcast you can listen to. She really debunks the myth that you can't build a thriving practice with a super healthy sales funnel with an insurance-based practice. What an insurance-based practice does for you almost immediately is it turns on the water faucet for the attraction phase of your funnel, right? Because the insurance company is going to start recommending you to clients who are on their insurance policies, and doctors and hospitals and physicians will be more likely to refer to you if you take insurance. Now, just because you take insurance doesn't mean you can't offer cash-based services as well. It's, as Amy will take you through, it looks a little bit different. And one of the things that we talked about with insurance-based practices was the marketing funnel and how it really isn't the only big difference is that with insurance-based practice is that you get more at the top of your funnel without a whole lot of work because it'll be easier to get referrals. And also, like if you post on Health Grades, if somebody's going to Health Grades to look for a dietitian, they're more likely going to select one that's on their insurance panel, right? So getting people into the funnel is a little bit easier, but if you're not focusing on the service and retention content, like those people aren't going to come back. And with insurance-based practice, that's where the secret sauce is, right? So if somebody has, after the Affordable Care Act passed, now that was after I was in practice. So once that passed, according to Amy, insurance reimbursement got much better for nutrition services. So there are some people who have unlimited nutrition visits, which sounds great, but guess what? You still need to get them in the chair or on the MNT call because you only get paid when people are showing up. So you still need to pay attention to the funnel. So we'll be talking about that too in the Fill Your Funnel Mastermind for those of you who come and are considering or already have insurance reimbursement practices. Okay, great. All right, we are at the end of our broadcast today. So we went over, 25 minutes over actually, but there was a lot to talk about. I hope if you found this helpful, just type in helpful, please, for me. Let me know if you found this helpful, or you can even share with me what you found most helpful. But if you could please just let me know if this was helpful to you, that would be amazing. We will be here again. I will be here again in 2 weeks with a different topic, different strategy that we'll talk about. And we'll also, cover some more Q&A for you. We are here to support you. If you are watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn, make sure that you join our private Facebook group, Scale Your Nutrition Practice. That is where the recording will live. That is where all the comments can be seen. That is where we really have the conversation around content that supports practice growth. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. It was really great to see you all here. If you watch the recording and you have a question, you can just tag me, Jeannie Petrucci, in the comments. And if I can't answer the question, we will find somebody from our team who can. Rebecca is saying, let's see, Rebecca made a comment here. Thank you. I'm new here, and this is such a robust system. Very helpful information today. Rebecca, I'm so glad that you said system, because really that's where we're getting to. And with our new software, Living Plate RX will be a practice growth system. We're going to be your library. We're going to be your meal planner. We're going to support you with professional development. Our partnership with Today's Dietitian is allowing us in such a really exciting way to dive deeper into supporting our entire community with professional development. So we're here to support you with and your business development too. We're supporting you with all of that. So thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. All right, everyone, I will see you again in 2 weeks. And as always, I'll see you inside the Facebook group for more conversations. Talk to you soon.